Hey guys and occasional girls, my name is Grvacher and this is Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Well, after finishing Fall of Cybertron, I think I'm starting to understand Transformers a little bit, and despite the fact that most questions I asked in my previous video remain unanswered, I'm coming to the conclusion that they're just bored out of their minds. And to be honest, I can relate, since that's the whole goal behind borrowing a lot of human traits. Come on, if they weren't at least a little bit relatable, Hasbro would never sell that insane amount of toys to consumers kids of modern age. However, what hinders them is the lack of human physical structure, because we have a ton of ways of channeling our boredom-inspired self-destructing tendencies, while all they got is good old violence. I'm saying it because unlike the previous game, Fall of Cybertron actually reveals some interesting facts about Transformers, and due to these facts, the whole boredom thing is the conclusion I came to. First of all, I've learned that Energon is a universal magical liquid that serves every imaginable purpose for Transformers. Basically, if eating and bathing in mineral oil had positive effects, it would be Energon for humanity. And I guess it is convenient when all your problems can be solved by pumping Energon into them. But the thing is, when you have such an element, it generates more plot holes than Michael Bay on acid. Energon is like kryptonite in Superman. Its power and effects change for the sake of convenience, and after playing Fall of Cybertron, I can safely say that Transformers are immortal, or at least can be resurrected, and all that drama about their sacrifices and deaths is total BS, only fanboys care about. Spoiler alert, in Fall of Cybertron, Megatron dies in one-on-one battle against Giant Metroplex. God, Megatron must have giant balls. Did you believe it? If you did, you're probably an idiot, because he can't die, just as Optimus or Bumblebee. No one will buy their toys then. But regardless, he dies for a while to generate drama, and comes back just in time to generate even more drama.
Megatron! Decepticons! I am your true leader now, and I order you to attack Megatron! Now! That's Megatron! But he was crushed! Where did he come from? Looks even more menacing.
Resurrecting him is not even a complex procedure, just weld him back together, pump some Energon into him and he's good to go. That defeats the point of all tragedy of the events that take place.
Commencing Dark Energon infusion in 3, 2, 1.
When Metroplex quote-unquote sacrifices himself and sad music is playing, Optimus Prime is giving his speech, all I could think about is, well, you'll be back someday, won't you? When you do, just pump some Energon into him and he'll be okay. So stop sniveling like goddamn babies and get back to entertaining me.
Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Till all are one.
Please don't tell me that there are reasons why Megatron and Optimus can't die and everybody else can. Because if you do, you officially given up and ready to eat all the bullshit you are being fed. So, considering that Transformers are immortal and the only thing that really matters in their world is Energon, I can conclude that there are two reasons to do anything on Cybertron: boredom or getting Energon. And since no one ever even mentioned the lack of Energon before the Civil War started, and from what I understand, Cybertron generated an infinite amount of it that was stopped due to the corruption of the core in the previous game. So the only reason to fight they ever had is boredom, until recently. And again, I can relate, I know from personal experience that being punched in the face has its fun moments. By the way, that makes core corruption a really stupid move done by Megatron. If he didn't do that, they could be fighting for all eternity, and now they got to leave because Cybertron doesn't generate necessary amounts of energy. And I'm still not entirely sure what is the talk about restoring Cybertron to his former glory all about, since it is never explained. But Megatron fucked up there majorly, didn't he? The whole rivalry between Optimus and Megatron actually makes me smile. They are like kids on a playground. Megatron is a bully with anger issues since his daddy drinks and beats the crap out of mommy every evening, and Optimus is as strong as Megatron is, but comes from a much better family, which makes Megatron really jealous and violent, screaming, "Optimus, I'm gonna kill you, you small cunt!" While Optimus is more like, "Please stop, I'm tired of all this crap, let's just ignore each other." If only I could draw, I would make a comic strip out of it. Back to the game though. What left me kinda paranoid is the fact that pretty much anything on Cybertron can be a transformer. A building next to the Ark was a giant transformer called Metroplex, and other transformers lived in his guts, which is kinda disgusting when you think about it. But that also means that every console, every TV, every air conditioner may be watching you. How creepy is that? And we are worried about always on Kinect. Imagine having sex with a girlfriend knowing that your sentient Xbox may be jerking off while watching you, or streaming it for easy bucks.
Optimus, what just happened? Easy, Perceptor. He's one of us.
The thing that confused me throughout both of the Transformers games is that you constantly change sides. Thankfully in Fall Cybertron you start as Autobots first, so you sympathize with, air quotes, good guys much more. However, at some point you are still forced to play as Decepticons, and I guess having two separate campaigns would cost way too much to make, but the developers definitely could have done something different with the last mission. You see, in the last chapter you switch sides several times on the course of like 20 minutes, which basically makes an observer out of a player and nothing more. I can't be emotionally connected to a character if I become his opponent the very next second, whether I want to or not. In the very last battle you gotta choose between Optimus and Megatron, and I guess the idea was fans will choose their favorite, but since you know that none of them will die, that makes this choice essentially pointless. I chose Megatron because watching him beating the stupid out of Optimus is not something you see very often, but it is the only reason I could really think of. And if they couldn't make two separate campaigns, they surely could make two separate last missions where you choose what side you wanna take from its very beginning.
Ah! You're as soft as the weaklings you fight for!
If you are interested in what actually happens in this game, the answer will be nothing much. Autobots build the Ark before the game starts, your job is to find some energon for it and launch it into a portal to Earth. This is it, the story can be summarized in one sentence, and I have to admit, it is a big plus. The game comes down to electrical dusters shooting each other, and it doesn't need a complex epic. Keeping it simple only adds to stupid fun this game is all about. And this game is fun, even despite the fact that Transformers are almost as relatable as a broken rice cooker I threw away yesterday. I wonder how many more domestic appliances I haven't mentioned. No matter. I actually was pleasantly surprised of how much fun this game is. 6.5 hours I spent playing it just flew by, never becoming a chore, and as soon as action starts you forget all about the fact that you are playing as a vacuum cleaner. Let's start with visual design, because it is my biggest bugbear when it comes to War 4 Cybertron, and holy crap, developers did a good job resolving that issue. This time there is nothing to complain about, especially in direct comparison with the first game. It is not busy, quite easy on the eye and pretty colorful, which makes this game kinda pleasant to look at. But what's more important, it became much easier to see enemies and differentiate them from walls, since wall textures have less unnecessary details and all Transformers glow brighter. Enemy variety also improved, just slightly, but at least it's improved. I would prefer to have a bit more types of enemies, but considering how many times I died to a shotgun blast to my face, I have doubts about my desire to have more stuff on the battlefield shooting me. What I also liked is the fact that the game became harder. The moment you stop being careful, you die, and I died a lot comparing to the first game. Mostly to those annoying shotgunners, but still. What I'm saying is, a game should be at least a little bit challenging. If it isn't, there is no sense of accomplishment, and I'm glad the developers treat normal difficulty reasonably, making it normal, and not for an armless retard. Trust me, you better get familiar with the dodge button, you will need it. Weapon system has also changed to the better, I feel. There is a shop now where you can equip and upgrade all weapons that are available to you. Yes, you can only have 2 weapons at a time like in the first game, but there is no need to actively look for them anymore. All you need is blueprints you find throughout the game, and you can choose any weapon you desire at the shop terminal, which there are plenty of, allowing you to switch to any playstyle you prefer. What I didn't like is weapon upgrade system because it is boring and can be easily abused. It is boring because only final upgrades for primary weapons actually add something fun to combat. All the rest are just magazine size increases and reload time improvements. Final upgrades, however, make your weapons OP as heck, and they're not even all that expensive. In addition, even though I didn't bother too much with extensive upgrading about half the game, when I finally got the perk that makes all guns and upgrades 25% cheaper, I easily upgraded couple of weapons to the max and decimated everything in my path. So if you want an easy ride, just save 15k for that perk first and don't bother. On the other hand, Transformers now feel awesome. They don't seem like people in cheap robot costumes anymore. Their costumes are now professionally made and expensive. They're heavy and bulky, even look slightly bigger than they used to, which is a great plus to the authenticity of the whole experience. Even giants in this game look gigantic. Unlike a Mega Supreme, Metroplex transforms into a freaking building and you can't believe it. Voice acting is as good as in the first game. Unfortunately, you can't choose which Transformer you want to play in each mission. Instead, each chapter is dedicated to a specific Transformer, and funnily enough, it ended up as an improvement as well. You see, each Transformer has his special gimmick that each chapter is based around, which makes the experience fun throughout the whole game. Levels last for around 30 minutes, and each 30 minutes you get a new toy to play with. As a result, the action doesn't get dull. Even when I wanted to take a break, I still stayed and continued playing, since the game was actually working on entertaining me, and not a whole lot of games can do it well. It is basically 13 fun mini-games, and there is nothing wrong about that. Unfortunately, what didn't change is transforming. Well, it changed slightly and now I understand what I don't like about that. Transformation changes nothing. Well, that sounds kinda dumb, but bear with me for a second this one. Particularly, transformation into a car changes nothing, it is still an overcomplicated sprint function, unlike say, flying Transformers, that you still don't spend enough time playing as I might add. What I mean is, transformation should bring something drastically new in order to make sense to use it. When it comes to jets, you get flight. Even transforming into Bruticus makes sense because it greatly increases your combat abilities and provides entirely different playstyle, while transforming from a robot with guns into a car with guns only makes you several feet shorter. And finally, the thing I hated in Transformers Fall of Cybertron is freaking cutscenes and QTEs. Why the hell are there so many of them? And I hated not even cutscenes, but small bits where the game takes away some controls from a player, disabling run or jump, making you slowly walk down a corridor. It is annoying as hell. It destroys the pacing and obliterates the feel of non-stop action and urgency. Why even have them? What would happen if I jumped during a dialogue? I should be able to if I bloody want to. Why impose annoying restrictions on a player? It just makes the game slightly more frustrating, and you as a developer don't want it to be frustrating at all. However, remember about stupid fun I mentioned? The entire game is made of moments that leave you thinking, wow, this is cool. Reaching the pinnacle of mindless entertainment when Grimlock transforms into a fire-breathing robot T-Rex. On one hand you have, really? A T-Rex? And how the fuck would robots from space even know about dinosaurs? On the other hand, oh holy mother of god, it is a fire-breathing robot T-Rex! And you know what, if you can't enjoy a fire-breathing robot T-Rex, there is something wrong with you. So, the game is still enjoyable, whether you like Transformers or not. I don't care about them and I can safely recommend it. It is a game that is just right to relax and have some mindless fun. Those half-an-hour-long mini-games only leave you with a desire of getting more, and if Hyman Studios will ever be making another Transformers game, I will definitely check it out. Those guys are worth supporting with my wallet. And come on, a fire-breathing robot T-Rex, what else do you need? The name's Grvahar, and I shall see you from within my next video.
Goodbye, goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, goodbye, see you, my friends.